Bill Belichick and North Carolina Tar Heels football, must-see TV. Alcorn State coach Leroy Frederick joins the show in the second half of the show to break down whether Bill Belichick's 24-year-old girlfriend, Jordan Hudson, will ruin Bill Belichick's coaching tenure at UNC before it really begins. Also, in the first half of the show, Dallas Cowboys analyst for Dallas Morning News, Calvin Watkins, joins the show to give his takeaways from Cowboys rookie minicamp, including a first look at a first-round draft pick, Tyler Booker, coming from the University of Alabama, who's trying to fill in the shoes of Zach Martin, who recently retired. Join us for this and much more as we are live here on Bailey Price Media Live. Can't thank you enough for joining, and I'll see you on the other side. Welcome back to another edition of Bailey Price Media Live.
Bailey Price Media, I like it.
Man, what's going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Welcome back to another edition of Bailey Price Media Live. Today, I got a very special show for you. Two different guests today. First guest, Dallas Morning News, Dallas Cowboys analyst, Calvin Watkins joins the show to break down all things Dallas Cowboys rookie minicamp and his takeaways from Dallas Cowboys rookie minicamp. We're also going to break down Brian Schottenheimer's impact as the Dallas Cowboys head coach in the future of the Dallas Cowboys under Brian Schottenheimer. In the second half of the show, we have Alcorn State coach Leroy Frederick joining the show to talk all things Bill Belichick and North Carolina football, because Bill Belichick and North Carolina football, Tar Heels football, must-watch TV. I can't wait to discuss that with Coach Fred here in the second half of the show. If you're watching, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and become a member of the Bailey Price Media Army today. I can't wait. This is going to be a very, very special show. I can't thank you all enough for tuning in here. And before a special guest, Calvin Watkins joins the show, let's give a breakdown. Chat, I want to hear from you. Let's talk about North Carolina football a little bit before we talk about it with Coach Fred here, because I personally think Bill Belichick and UNC football are must-watch TV. And with the recent noise and scrutiny of Bill Belichick's girlfriend kind of clouding the news, so to speak, when it comes to the Tar Heels, I don't want all that news to derail Bill Belichick's coaching career at UNC. I am praying for that doesn't happen. And that's what I have to say about it. And we'll discuss that more with Coach Leroy Frederick. Chat, if you're watching, if you'd like to donate to the show, go ahead and hit that super chat button. Make sure you hit that like button when you come in. And let's get into it here, because without further ado, our special guest is here, Dallas Cowboys analyst for Dallas Morning News, covering all things Dallas Cowboys. Calvin Watkins joins the show. Calvin, how you doing, man? Happy Tuesday. I can't thank you enough for joining.
I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, absolutely. I hear you great. Sounds great.
Good. Yeah.
Well, I can't thank you enough for joining, man. I know you're a busy man, so let's get into it. I won't waste too much of your time here. But Cowboys rookie minicamp is underway, and I want to get your biggest takeaways from Cowboys rookie minicamp, and including Tyler Booker and how he's doing in Cowboys rookie minicamp. Obviously, the first-round offensive guard coming from Alabama, looking to step up and fill the shoes, so to speak, of Zach Martin, who recently retired in the offseason. But Calvin, what are your biggest takeaways from Cowboys rookie minicamp, and how's Tyler Booker doing out there?
Well, as you know, there's not really a practice. It's more of a walkthrough session, so there's nothing really to tell. The biggest thing is with Tyler Booker is when they start this whole process, and with any of the rookies, is understanding what you need to do, right? So you get like 2 days of this, you get the playbook, and you get acclimated to being a professional. You got the locker rooms, and where am I going to live, and all that kind of jazz. Small things that me and you take for granted. Mm-hmm. A pro athlete has to figure this out because they were on college campuses for about 3 years, right? Or they live, off-campus apartment or what have you. So now they're a professional and they're getting paid. But Tyler Booker is going to be the projected starting left guard for this Cowboys team. Right guard for this Cowboys team. And that's why they drafted him at 12 overall, because they felt like if we're going to stop the Eagles and the Giants front lines, we need some big boys up front. I'm putting Tyler Booker at right guard, Tyler Smith at left guard, and you got Cooper Beebe at center. You might be okay. Maybe you might be okay, but that's a good first start.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Cooper Beebe. Let me ask you, Tyler Booker got some big shoes to fill with the retirement of Zach Martin this offseason. I think we know he's got big shoes to fill here, but I'm really optimistic and looking forward. I was big on Booker in the draft process here.
Really?
I think great fit, great get for the Cowboys there at the 12th pick. Do you think he can step up and fill the shoes of Zach Martin? Is it going to be a learning process? I think definitely as a rookie going into the NFL, it's going to be a learning process, but I think definitely Booker is definitely confident and looking to fill his shoes of Zach Martin. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, you can never replace a Hall of Famer, right? But I think this is a good first step in terms of finding a week one starter, someone that you don't have to worry about going forward. Brock Hoffman was, the starting right guard at times when Zach Martin was out.
Yep.
And now that Zach is retired, you have to figure out, when we get the 12th pick of the draft and we have 12 first round grades and Tyler Booker is right there at number 12, you got to pick him. So he's going to be that week one starter. It was interesting that Brock Hoffman, who started 7 games last year for Zach Martin, he was on social media, I think it was Twitter or Instagram, and he said, "Hey, it's not over. I'm still going to fight for my job," which is, I think, is a great thing because you need competition in your locker room. But Tyler Booker is your week one guy. I think he understands he's got big shoes to fill. You know what I'm saying? But Zach Martin over the last 2 seasons, he was not the Zach Martin we remember because he had ankle issues, and that's why he basically retired. If not, he was going to keep playing. So because his health deteriorated over the last 2 or 3 years, that's why he's now sitting on the couch now. Right. And now you got Tyler Booker playing. So I think if you want to pick, the 2 tackles were gone, right? Before the Cowboys were on the board at 12. So if the 2 tackles are gone, then you say, what's the best interior lineman left for us? It's Tyler Booker. And I was kind of surprised because even though you knew about him, his name surfaced kind of late in the draft process.
Right, yeah.
He was a 30 visit. So you go, okay, 30 visit, that tells you a little bit of the interest in him. And they visited him at Alabama. They had good talks with him and that kind of thing. So he's a big man. He's a good kid. He got personality. So you like that. So they were targeting him, and it's good that they picked him because I thought they were going to get a wide receiver, but instead they got the guard.
Yeah, I thought you guys were going to get Matthew Golden. I was shocked that
Cowboys
didn't go Matthew Golden at 12. I think Matthew Golden's the best receiver in the draft. I really think the Packers got a great get.
Over McMillan? Wow, surprise.
Yeah, man. I have Super Bowl champion quarterback Sean King joins the show all the time. He's really big on Matthew Golden. He's got me drinking the Kool-Aid, so to speak, on Matthew Golden, but I think he's a hell of a player. No knock on T-Mac. I think T-Mac is great, and I think that's a great fit in Carolina over with Leggett. But no, I was a big Matthew Golden guy. But nonetheless, Tyler Booker taking over, trying to fill the shoes of Zach Martin, and he's got the mentality, like you mentioned. He talked about it with Michael Parsons on draft night here. I would be remiss if I didn't show this. Take a listen.
Be like, man, I can't wait to play this football game today. They listen to their hype music. They take all the pre-workout. They get so excited to play football until they come across Tyler Booker. And then when I'm going after you, quarter after quarter, play after play, series after series, and I start to see that love leave their eyes, like that's what makes me love the game. Like I just really love.
I like that.
I love Micah's response there. I love Tyler Booker's mentality there. But Calvin, I think if anything, Tyler Booker's got the mentality and has got his mind in the right place for an offensive lineman. As a former offensive lineman myself, that's how you got to be. I love it hearing that. What are your thoughts on the comments there from draft night here and Tyler Booker's mentality as we continue discussing him?
Well, that's good that he's got that mentality. I mean, that's what you want. As Brian Schottenheimer likes to say, you want to draft the right type of guys. He drafted guys who were team captains. He got guys who love football. There's a lot of guys that play football but don't love football. Yeah, so that's true. And there's a big difference, major difference in that. Like Mozzie Smith, he plays football, but he doesn't love football. So when Micah Parsons heard that from Tyler Booker, he was like, that's the kind of guy like me, someone who loves football.
Definitely. Well, Calvin, let's move forward here. I got to ask you, guys got a new head coach in the offseason. I don't know if he's so new, so to speak, but Brian Schottenheimer moves up to head coach, taking over from Mike McCarthy there. I thought that was an interesting move in the offseason because I thought McCarthy was a great coach. But Brian Schottenheimer steps up. Obviously, he's the son of a legendary coach, Marty Schottenheimer here. Calvin, discuss his impact as the Cowboys head coach. I hear so much, random noise across media and the news here that Brian Schottenheimer's a one-year coach, blah, blah, blah. But I want to get it from you. What is his impact as the head coach in the future of the Cowboys under Brian Schottenheimer? Go ahead.
Well, we'll find out. He's got a 4-year deal, so we'll see what he could do. He's a young coach, but he's been around a long time. He's a rookie head coach, but he's been an offensive coordinator for a lot of different teams. He's coached in big cities like New York with the Jets, so he understands the media pressure and that kind of thing. He's very personable. One of the things that stuck with me during his news conference last weekend at the rookie minicamp was he says, "I'm not going to change who I am." Right? Mm-hmm. He said, "I've seen guys become head coaches and they've changed, and much to their detriment." So, and he's a very relationship guy. He wants to build relationships with people in the locker room and even in the media. So far it's going good, but we haven't played any games yet. So we'll find out what kind of impact he has once we start games in September.
Definitely. And that's very true. And we're still in May here. We're still grinding in the offseason. We're almost there, my guy Calvin. But, man, let me ask you, I know Brian Schottenheimer is going out of his way to build a relationship with the rookies here in rookie minicamp. Kind of speak to that a little bit. The impact of that as a head coach, building a relationship with these rookies as they come in the minicamp here. And also Jadon Blue, the running back from Texas that they drafted. What are your thoughts on that too? But go ahead. Sorry.
Well, Jadon Blue, it was one of two running backs that they drafted. They had signed Williams and they signed Sanders in free agency, so they needed a running back. And I think as much as we thought the Cowboys were going to draft a wide receiver in the first round, we thought, hey, you would draft a running back at least day 2, right? And then have to day 3, right? Yeah. So Jadon Blue, he's got a lot of speed. He's got some fumbling issues. I think he fumbled 5 times last year. We were talking to him in the locker room the other day, and I was looking at his hands, right? You think you want a guy with big hands. He's got small hands. So that might be a part of the issue why he had the fumbling issues. He talked about the technique. You got to hold it high and tight. You got to put the point of the ball, right? All those types of things. Yeah. So it's little things like that he's got to work on. He's a fast guy. I don't know if he'll be the starter, but we'll see. One of the good things I do like about Schottenheimer is that he is building relationships with these young guys because he knows it's tough to play in the National Football League, and he wants to make sure they're as comfortable as possible. How they put the installs in with the game plans and the offensive and defensive playbooks. Well, Schottenheimer says we're not going to call it installs. We're going to call it reviews. So we're giving you the playbook, you study it, and then we're going to test you when you come back in. That's telling him, are you prepared? Are you prepared when you come into practice every day? So I do like that approach from Shotty.
Definitely. And we've discussed the Dallas Cowboys draft here. Let me ask you, with Shedeur Sanders falling the way he did to the 5th round, did it surprise you at all that Jerry Jones didn't pull the trigger at all? I understand they got Dak Prescott, just traded for the freakazoid Joe Milton in the offseason here. Are you surprised that Jerry Jones didn't pull the trigger and draft Shedeur Sanders or no?
I mean, I don't know why he would draft Shedeur. He's got 4 years invested into Dak Prescott. Yeah. So it didn't make sense to draft a quarterback. And as you said, they traded for Joe Milton. He played 1 year in New England, and he won a game for him. And it cost him the number 1 pick. Yeah. He won that ball game for him. So it didn't really make sense to draft Shedeur. I am surprised that Sanders dropped to the 5th round. I thought at worst he would, be in the 2nd round. And Cleveland bypassed him and drafted a quarterback, right? And Gabriel. Yeah. And I thought Pittsburgh was going to draft him. They did not. The Giants, they got a quarterback. I thought the Raiders would draft him. I thought the Saints would draft him, and they just did not. Everyone passed him by. And I was surprised Cleveland did, but I really believe that when the Browns drafted Shedeur Sanders, that was the owner, Jimmy Haslam, saying, we need a quarterback. We need some style. And already you're seeing that he's wearing number 12, and you're seeing of all the rookies drafted, this is a 5th round pick, and you know what? It's one of the highest selling jerseys among the rookies.
Oh yeah,
Because Shedeur is he's marketing, he's money. That's what he brings from Colorado. So why wouldn't an NFL team want that? But the other part is the distraction whether it's intentional or not, of Deion Sanders. And I think Deion and his people didn't really understand the draft process because Shador only threw once. That was at his pro day, and it was a spectacle, right? Then he had a private workout for the Giants, so it didn't have an agent. So he didn't have anybody telling him, hey, you need to talk to these teams. You need to be more professional in the rooms here. So he kind of messed up the draft process himself. He's a talented player. Let's not excuse that. But considering all that, I thought he should have been no more worse than the second-round pick. You know, I remember Baker Mayfield was acting crazy at Oklahoma running around. Remember the Kansas game where he grabbed his, personal stuff and yelled at, and I'm watching that game. I just saw a clip of that game, and the announcer said NFL GMs will mark that against him. But it didn't mark against Baker Mayfield, right, at that time because he got picked by Cleveland. And then obviously he's having some success in Tampa Bay. So I'm just very surprised that Shador fell to the 5th round. And your other boy, Quinn Ewers, I'm surprised he went to the 7th round at UT. So to me, those two quarterbacks, to me, are aligned as guys who kind of just like, I thought Shador would be 2nd round pick, right?
Yeah.
Ewers, 4th round, 5th round pick, and he goes in the 7th. So you don't know, so it's, but the personnel people know better than us, right? So we'll see what happens.
Definitely. And I cover the Colorado Buffaloes with an alum named Matt McChesney. Played at Colorado, played in the NFL 6 years, and we were really big on Shador. Obviously covering Colorado, but we didn't think he would slip to the 5th round. Matt thought he was going to go top 10. I thought he was going to go in the 1st round. I actually picked the Cowboys to be a dark horse to look at him. But with him falling, I thought that was a little surprising. Whether it has something to do with the pre-draft process, I don't know what happened between the end of Colorado season and now, and what changed. I think him not participating in the combine may have played a part in it. Him not playing in the Shrine Bowl, the East-West Shrine Bowl, I think that played a part in it too. But nonetheless, he lands in Cleveland in an interesting situation that it's really up to him how he responds at this point. It doesn't matter now. He got drafted. Now he has to figure it out. Calvin, I can't thank you enough for joining here. Let me ask you, going to the Cowboys this season, is it make or break this season for the Cowboys when it comes to this current roster, so to speak? With Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, is this season make or break for the Cowboys, especially in that tough division? You got Washington Commanders coming off a great season with Jaden Daniels winning 12 games, and you got the Philadelphia Eagles. Obviously, we know how great they are, winning the Super Bowl against Chiefs Queendom. But what are your thoughts on this season with the Dallas Cowboys? Is this make or break for the Cowboys this season?
It's make or break every year for all 32 teams because every year is different. The Eagles won the division last year. Cowboys won it the year before that. Yep. They haven't had a repeat winner in the NFC East in about going on 15 years now. The interesting thing about this roster, Jerry Jones said this is not a rebuilding team. And he's right because he got Dak Prescott for 4 more years. They just signed CeeDee Lamb for a long-term deal. They're about to sign Micah Parsons at some point this summer to a long-term deal. They got Tyler Smith, who's emerging as one of the best interior linemen in the NFL. Yep. They got Tyler Guyton, who a first-round pick last year. He's going to be the starting left tackle. They got Trayvon Diggs coming off severe knee injury. He might be back at some point in November in the 2025 season. So you have a veteran roster, a lot of good players here. The division changes every year in terms of the winners. Washington's on the rise. I'll be interested to see how Russ does in New York with the Giants. They got some talent over there. But, every year is different, and it's always make or break for every team, especially the Cowboys.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And personally, I'm really excited to see Russell Wilson in New York. I think for the whole reason they brought in 2 quarterbacks, Daboll's got to win 8 games, I think, and him, either that or him and the GM are probably gone.
I'm surprised they're not gone already after what they did with Saquon Barkley, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I think they brought in Russ. If Russ doesn't work, you got Jameis. And then obviously they traded up and drafted Jackson Dart. Let me go back to something you talked about briefly, Quinn Ewers. We're seeing all kinds of noise from Quinn Ewers, him going in the NFL draft versus staying in college and entering the transfer portal and going seemingly getting paid a lot of dough here. What are your thoughts on that? Should he have stayed in college? Does it matter now that he's drafted in the 7th round here? What are your thoughts on that? Go ahead.
It's funny because he could have transferred, right?
Yeah.
And got more money from another school But I think he led Texas to semifinals the last 2 years, I think. He won 21 games. He had to endure injuries. He had to Manning was right behind him. So he had to, handle all that. He showed a lot of perseverance, if that's the right word. And He overcame a lot of adversity and all those kinds of things. So why not? He was kind of like the baby of the NIL movement. Remember, he went to high school early, went to Ohio State to get the money. Then I can't handle Ohio State. So he comes back home to Texas. That's okay. Come to Texas. It's not like he went from Ohio State to, some podunk school in the South, right? He went to one of the top schools in the country, Power 5 school. So we get that. We love that about him. But the health issues were a concern. The arm strength, you got to be, as you know, you got to be able to throw that football now. And, I went to his pro day, and he had a pretty good pro day, but when he was throwing some deep balls, I saw a little flutter on the balls going deep down the field. So he's not the biggest guy, I think, out there. I mean, you can talk about Lamar Jackson being slim, but he's durable. He moves around, and he's tall. Shador, I've been in front of Shador, and he's not a big guy. He's just slim. So, there's some issues there with the physicality of how he looks and that kind of thing. I'm sure you can grasp an offense, but I was very surprised at Quentin Ewers. Maybe his attitude was an issue. I don't know. You have to talk to these teams, but there was a story written on ESPN about the draft process with him, and it seems as if he did everything right, and yet he still was a 7th round pick. But no one can really give his agent, Ron Slavin, or anybody else close to Ewers like an answer about why he felt. I talked to him at the combine. He seemed like a really good kid. I liked him. He's a good, personable guy. But as you know, these NFL teams, they look at one guy and say, he can't play for me. Another guy says, I think he can play for me. But he's in a good spot in Miami. And he got a good coach who knows about offense. So maybe he'll do well there. Sometimes they look. Tom Brady was what, a 6th round pick?
Yeah.
And he got all the rings, right? He's the GOAT, so to speak. So sometimes it's not where you start, it's where you finish, as everyone likes to say. So maybe that would be the case with Sanders and Ewers. But as surprised I am about Sanders going to the 5th round, I am even almost equally surprised about Ewers going in the 7th round. At some point, I'm thinking, is he going to get drafted at all? Like, right. You know what I'm saying? It was like 12 quarterbacks were taken. And so I was very, very surprised by that.
Yeah, I was definitely surprised at that too. I was also, I think Matt and I at one point this past year during the season talked about Quinn Ewers entering the transfer portal. I was really surprised by that, but nonetheless, he gets drafted and goes to the NFL. I think ultimately the right decision in the long run, so to speak, because I think when it comes to NIL money in college football, it's temporary money versus you go to the NFL. That's a little bit different paycheck, so to speak. Calvin, I can't thank you enough for joining. My final question for you is, could the NFC East have the chance to be the best division of football going into next year, considering the Cowboys, kind of bounce back going into this season? Obviously, we know the Washington Commanders, I think they're going to take a step up from last season, their productive season. The Eagles are going to be formidable, as always. And then the Giants, I think, are going to be better than people think. Do you think the NFC East has the potential to be the best division in the NFL going into this year?
Maybe so. I kind of like the NFC North. They got some bangers in that division too, But the Lions lost both their coordinators, so that might be an issue for them. We'll see. But the NFC East has always been very competitive. The Eagles, as you said, they're a title contending team. The Giants and Commanders have been down, and the Cowboys have been like this, But under McCarthy, they had 3 seasons with 12 wins, So that told me that they were on the rise, and then they had that bad year when they won 7-10 last year. So. The division is definitely good. I think Washington emerging going to the postseason last year was big. Philly obviously winning the whole thing was obviously that's what you want. And the Cowboys were not competitive. The Giants were not competitive. But I do like the quarterback situation in New York. The Cowboys have a young coach, a rookie coach. So that's going to pose some problems down the line, we believe. And you know what? Everyone's gunning for Washington now. They can't sneak up on you now. Everybody knows what you got. A great quarterback. And Daniels and Philly, they're a good team. They lost their coordinator, and he's in New Orleans now. So we'll see. But the NFC has always been very competitive.
Absolutely. And yeah, like you mentioned with the Philadelphia Eagles, I really am interested to see their offense and how it changes, whether it takes an impact from losing Kellen Moore to the Saints. The Commanders, I think, are going to be legit. It's just I think you could see Jaden Daniels possibly take a step back, sophomore slump like we saw with C.J. Stroud. The Giants, like I mentioned, have to win 8 games. So if I don't think they have a choice here. Daboll's gone here. I think they'll have some success though with Russell Wilson. I really like their draft pick in Abdul Carter, also getting Keanu against Scottsdale in the 4th round is great. And then the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are going to bounce back under Brian Schottenheimer here. And they need it. If it's any make or break for any team, I think it's the Dallas Cowboys. But Calvin, it has been an honor for you to join my show. I really appreciate you joining on this fine Tuesday, beautiful Tuesday. I can't thank you enough for joining. I hope you have a great day, man. Thank you so much.
Got you, man. Let's do it again. Take it easy.
Absolutely. Let's do it again. Love to have you on again. Have a great Tuesday, my man. Thank you for joining. Shout out to Calvin Watkins, Dallas Cowboys analyst and writer with Dallas Morning News, for joining the show, breaking down all things Dallas Cowboys news. And, a first look at the Cowboys minicamp here, including Tyler Booker, the offensive guard coming from Alabama, looking to step up and fill the shoes of Zach Martin here that is retired here. In the second half of the show, we got Alcorn State coach Leroy Frederick joining the show to talk all things Bill Belichick and UNC football, because as the thumbnail states, Bill Belichick and UNC football are must-watch TV. So without further ado here, let's go ahead and get into it. Alcorn State assistant head coach, Coach Leroy Frederick, joins the show. Coach Fred, what up, man? Happy Tuesday. How you doing?
I'm good, Bailey. What's happening, baby? How y'all doing?
Man, not much, man. It's a great show here. We had Calvin Watkins, Dallas Cowboys analyst here, talking all things Cowboys in the first half of the show here. And Coach Fred, I got to ask you, before we talk Bill Belichick and UNC, who did this? Which prime sexual was it? A Colorado football fan is suing the NFL for over $100 million for emotional distress that he went through after watching Shedeur Sanders fall to the 5th round, the 2025 NFL draft. Dalvin Truth, who is it? Which pansexual? Who is suing? Who is suing the NFL over this? Coach Fred, what are your thoughts on this unbelievable story here?
Man, that is laughable. That's almost like a what they call those ambulance chasers. Those guys when they first get out of law school type thing.
Right.
They're looking for anything and anybody that wants to sue. I got to believe that this won't make it in front of a judge. I got to believe that, but stranger things have happened.
I hope. I really
That's a waste of taxpayers' money and time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. I read this and I was like, man, we are. Colorado's fan base is sensitive. I love you, the prime sexuals, but god damn. Coach Fred, I can't thank you enough for joining. Let's get into it and talk some Tar Heels football here. So, Coach Fred, we've seen all kinds of noise when it comes to Bill Belichick and his 24-year-old girlfriend, Jordan Hudson here. The story has come out that Jordan Hudson has amassed over a $9 million real estate portfolio since she's been dating Belichick. Obviously, we saw the CBS interview where she came in and said, we're not going to answer these questions about the relationship with them, yada, yada, yada. Coach Fred, let me ask you, though, could Bill Belichick's 24-year-old girlfriend derail his coaching run at UNC before it really begins? This is something that I really don't want to happen. This is one of the most exciting teams that I'm looking forward to going into the season in college football. The Tar Heels, they got Gio Lopez, South Alabama transfer quarterback. It's a team I'm really looking forward to, but Bill Belichick's buyout it lowers a lot more, I believe, after June 1st here. Do you see Bill Belichick's girlfriend being the reason that his coaching career at UNC may be derailed, so to speak, before it really begins?
Nah, because of who he is, I think his life is starting to unravel. Whether he wants to believe that or not. I don't know if you got a chance to watch that interview, Bailey. That was scary, man. Like, Bill may be taking some verbal abuse at the house behind closed doors. You know what I mean?
Oh, boy.
But and Bill's got kids older than her as well, So, when you talk about the structure of it all, I think she understands that that's her cash cow, so to speak. So I don't see her putting that in jeopardy to a point to where they come in and they break away, they cut ties. But I can't see this starting to take away from what everybody said his major attribute was what? Laser focus.
Right.
I don't know if you can be laser focused there when they are pretty much running everything about you.
Right.
I just, I would have never seen this coming in a million years, but who did?
Yeah, exactly. Me neither. And you brought it up. Let's go ahead and show it, actually. Here's a part of the CBS interview, Bill Belichick and Jordan Hudson, CBS interview. Take a listen.
It was a mutual decision.
The other change for Belichick is 24-year-old Jordan Hudson, his creative muse, as he writes in his book.
Make sure that that's the
Jordan was a constant presence during our interview.
You have Jordan right over there. Everybody in the world seems to be following this relationship. They've got an opinion about your private life. It's got nothing to do with them, but they're invested in it. How do you deal with that? Never been too worried about what everybody else thinks. Just try to do what I feel like is.
I love Bill's response to that. I love it. Coach Fred, what was your initial reaction when you saw that interview? You saw the clips here of Jordan Hudson. What was your initial reaction to all of it?
I was floored, Bailey, because what's always been said about him is that he is who he is. He's in control of everything. He's in control of the offense. He's in control of the defense.
Yep.
And when she took over the interview, and all he did, I don't know if you have that piece, Bailey, but if you show that one where he kind of just looks over there at her, I felt so bad for Bill at that moment, man. Like, oh, nah, coach, can't do it. Say what you want to say, man. Don't let her control the interview.
Yeah. I mean, she was definitely. It sounds like they're serious. We're not talking about this. Bill Belichick actually released a statement regarding the scrutiny, so to speak, of the CBS interview, saying, I quote, "I agreed to speak with CBS Sunday morning to promote my new book, The Art of Winning: Lessons from My Life of Football. Prior to this interview, I clearly communicated with my publicist at Simon & Schuster that any promotional interviews I participated in would agree to focus solely on the contents of the book. Unfortunately, that expectation was not honored during the interview. I was surprised when unrelated topics were introduced, and I repeatedly expressed to the reporter, Tony Docupill, and the producers that I preferred to keep the conversation centered on the book. After this occurred several times, Jordan, with whom I share a personal and professional relationship, stepped in to reiterate the point to help refocus the discussion. She was not deflecting any specific question or topic, but simply doing her job to ensure the interview stayed on track. Some of the clips make it appear as though we were avoiding the question of how we met, but we have been open about the fact that Jordan and I met on a flight to Palm Beach in 2021. Coach Fred, what are your thoughts on Bill Belichick's statement in response to all the heat from the CBS interview there?
If it was that easy, just say we met on a flight to Palm Beach in 2021 and get right back to it. But to cut in, we're not talking about that. We're not talking about this. That takes on that take on another life of itself, of its own. But I just, again, whom he shares a personal and professional relationship with, that was a bad look. That was a cold look. So whoever his publicist is, his PR people, maybe not such a long statement like that after that, because I mean, Bailey's Bailey, so Bailey's gonna read all of it. Me, I'm not gonna read all that. I'm probably going 2 lines in, and then I'm going 2 lines at the end. And whatever's in the middle, if it was important, I missed it because I didn't do all that reading. But PR, quick and to the point. You know what I mean? Bill runs this. And that would have been it. There was nothing else to add a whole paragraph to that statement or to that, to add context to what people had already seen. Because to me, this does worse damage than the interview. Because now this is, the aftermath. Baby, it's usually if you, hit it first early, then, whatever comes after that comes after that. But when you wait and you prepare a prepared statement, that just doesn't look good for Bailey.
Yeah, no, and the fact that he's even has to comment on it, I think, is unbelievable. The fact that it's such he's going through the social media ringers, so to speak, Coach Fred. Shout out to Mike Bundy for the $10 donation, saying she talked to Bill. Bill talked to his players. Sad. Likely. Man, the whole reason I brought this up, I think Bill Belichick and UNC are must-see TV, must-watch TV, so to speak. I'm a really big fan of their quarterback they just got in the transfer portal, Gio Lopez, paying him a lot of money to be their QB1, coming from the University of South Alabama. please, Jordan Hudson, don't ruin this. I'm so excited to see this. And I fear with Bill Belichick's buyout going from, I believe, and don't quote me on this, 10 to 1 million, I want to say after June 1st or so, with the whole noise about, that buyout was Bill Belichick going to the NFL. Now, when I'm reading stories about Bill Belichick's buyout coming into play because the fallout of the CBS interview with Jordan Hudson, that's where I get a little bit alarmed, Coach.
Wow.
I want to see UNC play one season at least, Coach. What do you got to say to that?
You know what? It's gonna. They'd be crazy to cut ties because now this is, like you said, this is really gonna be must-watch TV.
Yeah.
And then this is going to turn into, I hate to say it, I know our guy JB is going to be mad about it, but this is exactly what's going to happen, baby. Mark my words. This is going to turn into a Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce deal. Anytime she is at a UNC game, the TV is going to find her, the commentary, they're going to talk about it. They're going to talk about this interview, whether they are playing in Chapel Hill or they're playing in Tallahassee. If she is there, the camera's going to find her like it does every time Taylor Swift is at a Chiefs game. And you know, and I know, Bailey, she ain't sitting where the kids' parents, you play college football, so you know that one section that they give the away team.
Yep.
Yeah, she ain't in that section. She's going to be up there in that box.
Yep. They're going to pan to if someone scores, they're going to pan to her just like the Taylor Swift thing. I could absolutely see that, Coach Fred. But nonetheless, I'm really excited about North Carolina Tar Heels football. I think that they have a lot of potential going into this season in a very open ACC conference. Speaking of North Carolina football, their general manager, new term in college football here, Michael Lombardi, actually talked about how Bill Belichick is bringing back the toughness to North Carolina and Chapel Hill. Take a listen here.
See and sense immediately that will be different about North Carolina football in 2025?
Oh, we're going to be tougher. You know, look, we wear Carolina blue, and I know it looks like a soft color, but we're going to get tougher. You know, Coach Belichick and I both believe in mental and physical toughness, and we're going to tackle better. We're going to have more contact. We're going to be a more physical team. Remember what I said earlier in this interview? We're going to control the middle of the field. Right? The only way you control the middle of the field is to be physical. We're not playing powder puff football. We're not having a camp that everybody's going to join in and we're all going to go to Dairy Queen after the game, right? We're going to be a physical football team, and we're going to play that way. And the only way you can play that way is to coach that way. And there's an old saying in football, you're either coaching it or allowing it to happen. We're going to coach toughness. We're going to coach physicality. And this team will be physical. It may not happen in September. It takes some time to develop a team. But by the end of the year, we will be a physical football team.
Man, that makes me hyped and excited, Coach Fred. Nonetheless, hearing from Michael Lombardi, who I actually think as a general manager, having some oversight on a college football team, I think is going to be a huge impact for them, especially looking into year 2 and year 3 for them. But Coach Fred, what are your thoughts on Michael Lombardi's comments there on Bill Belichick restoring the toughness to Chapel Hill and UNC?
Well, he put that disclaimer right after at the end. Now, it may not happen in September, may not happen in October. So he put the disclaimer out there. Let's put that out there first. And then, I just see when you talk toughness, Bailey, it's a little different than the pro game when you're talking college. And, they have the roster limit, just like the NFL now. So it's going to be interesting to see how they implement this toughness because there's not 3 days. There's no longer 2 days. And like he said, it does take time. So if you've been overly soft, what's the saying? You can never teach a dog how to bite. They either come out biting or they don't. They don't come just vicious, that way. And then, I can also see for fun and games, I can also see him trying to talk discipline and toughness and one of those kids firing back. Well, you weren't talking like that to Jordan. I just thought I'd throw that out in the interview. But, that's one of those deals, man, where,
No, I'm with it, though.
They're going to be I expect them to be a better team, no doubt about it. Now, with that staff, can they adopt the college way of playing as compared to the pro way that he's been his whole career,
Yeah.
through?
Yeah. And yeah, that's a great point, Coach Fred. And I mean, I'm going to be watching this team in depth as that we get closer to the fall here in the season here, because I'm really interested to see what that team looks like, especially on offense. I'm really curious. But yeah, well said, Coach Fred. And shout out to Joe Accord for the $50 donation. Holy shit! He says to the Sonics fan, he's going to poke fun at me because he's an OKC Thunder fan. With the performance last night, I wanted to tuck my tail today. Anyways, Coach Fred, you're a world of knowledge, sir. Bailey, you know my guy through thick and thin, Skull and Thunder up. Joe Accord, you're the freaking man, always supporting the shows. I can't thank you enough, man. I appreciate it. $50 donation, unbelievable. Shout out to Joe Accord, man, unbelievable. Coach Fred, let's move forward here. I got to ask you, this is the prime sexuals are not happy about this. Shedeur Sanders has been given the number 12 for the Cleveland Browns. He's got Tom Brady's number with Cleveland here. The reason he's wearing 12 and not 2 is because wide receiver DeAndre Carter currently holds 2 for the Cleveland Browns here. And all I see on Twitter is worst decision ever. Oh, horrible decision for marketing, blah, blah, blah. Could have had the number 2 Shedeur jersey in Cleveland, would have sold so much, blah, blah, blah. Coach Fred, do you take anything away from this at all? What are your thoughts on Shedeur wearing 12 here?
Nah, no thoughts, because it's sold out on his personal website. So whatever it is, I mean, the people that are buying it don't seem to be too caught up about it. But Bailey, didn't he say someone gifted him $1 million at the draft party?
I believe he was gifted $1 million or something, but yeah,
someone
after party.
Someone gave him $1 million at the after party. I'm sure the receiver that wears number 2, I'm sure he has a cash price for that jersey.
I'm sure.
And if he really wanted to, and it really meant that much, I'm sure he has a cash price, and he could have probably gotten that. But the thing that I want to make sure everybody understands, baby, this is not a given that he's going to make this team. He was a 5th round. Dylan Gabriel was a 3rd round. 3rd rounders usually get an opportunity to, stay around for a little while. 5th rounders, you got to make the team. And if he don't come out and play lights out, if there's one, and we've said it before, he's not a character guy. We know that. He's not a problem with the character. But if the show shows up with him and Cleveland thinks it's too much, it's a 5th round. They didn't lose anything.
Yeah, that's true.
And they could cut ties.
Yeah, they absolutely could cut ties, especially if he doesn't approach it the right way, so to speak. I think Shedeur now, if he doesn't hear the noise, he better, because now it's really how does Shedeur respond to this? How does Shedeur respond? Is he going to buckle down and go to work? I think we've been seeing him, starting to really work out here and show his workouts here as he's in Cleveland here. Seeing him go to Cleveland Elementary School to speak here. When it comes to the Cleveland quarterback room, Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, I think are going to battle it out for the starting job. I think it's Joe Flacco's job to lose right now, considering it's Cleveland, with history of Cleveland. I get he's 40, but
took him to the playoffs.
Every time we talk about an old white guy going in the NFL as a quarterback who's been there and done that, he typically does pretty well, Coach Fred. I would like to see Joe Flacco take QB1, mostly because of the experience, but also I think he can really mentor Shedeur. I think Shedeur needs coaching. It's something I talked about all offseason. I think he needs to go somewhere where he can be coached. In Cleveland, he's going to learn under Kevin Stefanski in that system here, Stefanski's system here. But I think having Joe Flacco as a mentor is going to do wonders for Shedeur. Coach him out of some bad habits here, whether it's rolling, taking too long, rolling backwards in the pocket, doing all kinds of stuff that we saw in Colorado from the bad habit side. I think Joe Flacco can help mentor, and Stefanski can coach that out of him. What are your thoughts there, Coach?
Yeah, I'm like you. I really think it's Flacco's job to lose. Kenny Pickett's to be the backup. Dylan Gabriel, drafted 3rd round, to be a part of that room at some point in time. And then, him, and, of course, vacant from that room, but still on the payroll is Deshaun Watson. So, again, his race to me is not against Joe Flacco. His race to me has got to be versus Dylan Gabriel.
100%.
What the reps are going to be for him in Cleveland, because like you said, Joe Flacco, he probably won't take a lot of the physical reps because he is older. He is the veteran.
Sure.
Kenny Pickett's going to take probably a bulk of Flacco's rep plus his. And then they got to get Dylan Gabriel up to speed, because if you just bunny hop Gabriel with Shador, then why did you draft Gabriel?
Right. Yeah.
So the rep game is going to come into play here real quick. And, you know, you've got to be really, if you get 5 reps, you can't be 2 out of 5. You know what I mean? And expect to be able to make the club. And I keep hearing in the different people talking that he'll be starter by week 6. And I'm like, how is he going to be the starter by week 6?
That would be something. I don't think he starts at all, but if he starts by week 6, holy shit. I'm seeing things like Shador would be the first for 5th rounder, one of the only 5th rounders to start week 1 on a franchise. I'm like, are we this delusional, guys? They got Flacco and Pickett, and they're paying Pickett like a good. They traded for him, so like they gave him DTR and a pick for him. So I think they're pretty invested in those 2 guys. Like you mentioned, I think
Flacco led them to the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. In the wake of the Deshaun Watson injury, so to speak.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Deshaun's gone. When it comes to quarterback battles, I think Flacco and Pickett are going to battle it out for that starting role. Obviously, Shador and Gabriel are going to battle it out here to stay on the roster, essentially, so to speak.
Right.
And we're going to obviously talk about this all off season as it plays out here.
Because you can't
Coach
keep
Fred,
both of them, can you?
I think you could keep both Shador and Gabriel, but I don't think they could keep both Flacco and Pickett. I think somebody has to go. They can't keep 4 quarterbacks. No. Do you really think they could keep 4 quarterbacks on a regular season roster?
Nah, he's got to be like Taysom Hill in order for that to happen. You know.
Yeah.
So I was getting your opinion. Do you think they keep the room as it is, because you hold that roster spot, even though, let's say you put one up on practice squad, you're not dressing 3 quarterbacks. I don't know if Dylan Gabriel can do anything else other than play quarterback. You didn't bring Kenny Pickett there to just sit him or put him on IR or hide him somewhere. So I was just, getting your opinion to see, do you think they would do the unprecedented and keep 4 guys on the roster? Plus one on
it's the
IR.
Cleveland Browns, Coach Fred. I'm not going to say no here. They just drafted 2 quarterbacks, so nobody could have predicted that. I could have never predicted they would draft 2 quarterbacks and then they would draft Gabriel for Shador. That makes no sense to me. Personally, I think a team I think Flacco is going to win the job. I think a team is going to come and trade for Pickett or scoop up Pickett, or they may cut him. Because I can't buy into the fact of keeping 4 quarterbacks on the roster. That's just – I don't know. I can't see that. Coach Fred, are you into horse racing? Did you catch the Kentucky Derby at all?
I did not.
Well, I wanted to show something here. I thought this was a great move by the NFL. The NFL actually sent Carolina Panthers wide receiver Xavier Legette to the NFL or to the Kentucky Derby here to do some social media work here. I wanted to show a couple clips. Coach Fred, take a look at this.
I got the LV denim on denim. I got the ostrich belt as well with the L on it for the last name, Legette. You know what I'm talking about? Ostrich boots. Got the XL chain on.
Hey, country. Boy. Yeah, I'm with the fit, though. I'm not bad fit. Coach Fred, I thought this was a great, genius move by the NFL social media department here by sending Xavier Legette with the microphone over to the Kentucky Derby. I thought this was great. I don't know if you had a chance to see here's Xavier Legette trying some 24-karat gold bacon here. Personally, I really enjoyed seeing this over the weekend. Personally, I'm really high on Xavier Legette. I talked about him a lot when he was drafted by the Panthers. I think the Panthers definitely, with Dave Canales, the head coach, are definitely going to take a step forward here going into next season. Obviously, they drafted T-Mac, Tetro McMillan out of Arizona to go with Xavier Legette. But, Coach, what are your thoughts on Xavier Legette making an appearance at the Kentucky Derby and then going into this season, the Carolina Panthers as a whole?
I like it. I like him as, his team for accepting that, and then the NFL for doing it, because if you follow him at all, you know that he's a lover of the outdoors. He's country. He ain't trying to hide it. He'll tell you how him and his uncles and cousin go hunt coon, stuff like that, and they actually eat the raccoon and all that kind of stuff. So I think it was a great move by the NFL, great move by his PR team to put him out there. I got to go back and watch a little bit more of it. I didn't know he's at the Derby. And what is 24 karat bacon? Can you help me with that one?
It's so I think here it's bacon. It seems it's bacon wrapped in 24 karat like gold leaf, edible gold leaf. If I had to take a wild guess, I'm not too familiar. But I'm yeah, he country as a guest, Coach Fred. Have you ever eaten raccoon?
Heck no.
I had to ask you that. I ain't never eaten it either. Coach, I had to ask you because, as we know, Xavier Leggett, big fan of eating raccoon, so to
I
speak.
like him. I like their pick with the McMillan kid out of Arizona. You know, I thought that kid was a real deal. And the strides they made toward the end of the year offensively. Now, if they can stay healthy and find a few more pieces up front to keep whoever's playing quarterback standing up, they got some weapons, man. They got a pretty nice little run game. So they may be able to make a little noise in that division.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I wanted to show one more clip here. Xavier Leggett with Guy Fieri here at the Kentucky Derby. Take a listen.
A couple questions for y'all today. All right. Well, I know you're a chef, my man.
Right.
How you feel about cooking some raccoon?
You know what? We were just having a raccoon cooking conversation the other day. And a buddy of mine swears he is like the raccoon chef.
Oh, yeah.
So, no, really, he was giving me a whole rundown on it. So, no, I would be down with it. My motto is, we're both hunters, and our motto is if you're going to hunt it, you got to eat it.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So, I think, are you a raccoon chef?
Yes, sir.
Give me the breakdown on it. What's the marinade? I want to hear this.
Oh, yeah, so man, we got a little secret now. I can't give it to everybody.
You can't give me the secret.
I can't give you the secret.
As chefs, we share as chefs.
Hey, I can't give you the secret now because it's some down in the bottom South Carolina type of cooking, you know what I'm saying? But I can tell you how we do it, though. We put it in the pressure cooker, let the meat fall off the bone, put it in the oven until we going to chop it up first now.
All right.
I'll tell you, we put some little crushed peppers on it and all that, man.
Okay.
Let that marinate in there. And that's how
But it's good eating.
Oh, yeah, it's good eating.
Wow, Coach Fred, are you eating that? Are you trying that? I don't think I could get myself to do it personally. I don't know. You have a lot more life experience than me. I don't know if you've ever done this. I don't think you've done this. But would you try that? Xavier Leggett's raccoon recipe there?
Absolutely not. You know, I'm from Florida. I'm a Florida boy, Bailey, and my uncles. I've got cousins that do. You know, they eat from coon to rabbit to turtle. Yeah, they call me bougie because I refuse to do any of that. Like I just recently started eating deer sausage, baby. Like recently.
Recently, like very recently. That sounds pretty good, Coach Fred.
And deer sausage is not bad. It's really not. But yeah, that's about as deep as I run, baby.
Yeah, I gotta ask my dad. My dad grew up in Tampa. He went to Eckerd College in St. Pete. I gotta ask him about if he would eat raccoon because that's out of left field for me, Coach Fred. I don't know. You couldn't catch me eating raccoon. I don't know.
Especially when you see it, Bailey, because what they do, like when they trap it and they kill it or whatever, they have to leave a foot on it so that whoever's buying it or whoever is going to eat, they know what it is. And I'm like, why do you leave a foot on it? It's like because it's technically like the size of a puppy, so you want to make sure you're not eating a puppy or something like that. And I'm just like, man, y'all absolutely crazy. There's no way somebody shows up at my front door asking me if I want a coon, and then there's a hairy foot attached to it. But like you can go to his IG page, man, and he'll talk you through it all. You just go to his IG page and you'll see where he's talking about how they case it out and the whole nine. I just started eating deer sausage, and maybe within the last 2 years, I started eating alligator. Maybe within the last 2 years.
Gator. Oh, is that? I've never had gator. Is it good?
Gator. The few times that I've had it has been really good. It's a white meat, so you've got to really cook it so that it doesn't dry out.
Right.
But the few times that I've had it and talking to the chefs, because there's a restaurant in New Orleans that serves it, and the guy's like, the trick is to not dry it out, and then if you're gonna fry it, lightly fried, breaded up the whole nine, and they got some little gator sauce, stuff like that that you dip it in. So it ain't bad. It ain't bad.
Damn, Coach Fred. Yeah, that Gator is something I gotta try because I'm in the South. They got it everywhere. I just have never taken the opportunity to try it here. But shout out to Xavier Legette making an impression at the
Yeah,
Kentucky Derby. Genius move by NFL social media people.
and his PR
Unbelievable
people.
move.
Yes.
I love it. And shout out to Cheer Chris for becoming a member of the BPM Army. I can't thank you enough, Chris, for joining and always supporting. You're always in every show. I can't thank you enough. Shout out to Chris. And Coach Fred, I can't thank you enough for joining here. This has been a great show here on this fine Tuesday. I don't know if you saw, we had Dallas Cowboys writer Calvin Watkins join the show earlier, talk all things Dallas Cowboys as they are in Dallas Cowboys rookie minicamp here, Coach Fred. And I want to ask you the same question I asked him before we get you out of here. And I thought about this for a while. Could the NFC East be the best division in football next season? With Washington Commanders possibly taking a step up from last season. The Eagles, we know how good they're going to be coming off a Super Bowl championship. I talked all things Cowboys on this show. Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb. I think they're going to take, they're going to rebound from last season here. Then Russell Wilson and the New York Giants, I think, have to win 8 games if Brian Dable is gone here. But, Coach, that's kind of my theory with the NFC East. Could the NFC East be the best division in the NFL this year?
Once upon a time, it was. It was the best division out there, the toughest division out there. I think that hinges on what you said about the last team, New York. That hinges on how they come back, and then we know Dallas is going to be good until the end. Kind of what it is. And then, I like to think, knocking on wood, knock, knock, that my Commanders are ready to take the next step and challenge the Eagles, for that division and for the conference. So I think this could be the turning point to where this division gets back to being the toughest division in NFL football, and overtake what they say the NFC North with Pittsburgh,
the Bears and the Vikings, the Packers,
and
AFC North, AFC West even.
Yeah. So I think they can definitely challenge. There's going to need some help from some of the teams in the conference. Again, New York's got to be better. I hope they're not that much better, but they've got to be better. And then you hope Dallas just continues to be who Dallas is, and I think this could be. But we'll know very early.
We will. Do you see the Eagles taking not a step back, but with Kellen Moore going to the Saints, do you think that could impact the Eagles' offense negatively to where we have some sort of a noticeable impact because of it? Kellen Moore leaving to become the head coach of the Saints.
No, I don't. Because the guy behind him, who he gave the job to, has been around it, and if he's been in those meetings or everything, and if he's smart, he'll run it the same way. If he comes in and tries to put too much of his own spin on it, then it's going to be, then it'll be noticeable. I think the question they've got to do is re-answer that defensive line. They lost Sweat and they lost the other D tackle, and they were just the best team in the league across both fronts, offensive line and defensive line. So if that defensive line picks up where they left off, they're going to be pretty tough again. Offense doesn't have to do too much; just don't turn it over.
Absolutely. And it's tough because I'm a big Kellen Moore guy. I thought he's a great coordinator, especially going over to Philly. I thought he did a hell of a job with Jalen Hurts.
Yes.
Going into New Orleans, it's going to be interesting to see what they look like with him at the helm there. Obviously, drafting Tyler Shook. I think they'll it's tough because they got Saquon Barkley, and as long as that offensive line is healthy, that's going to be a constant presence there. So I think the Eagles' offense will be fine. I think early, within the first 3 or 4 weeks, you may see a little bit of struggles with the Eagles' offense trying to adjust to a new system and obviously a new season here. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Nonetheless, I think the NFC East has the potential to be the best division of football either way. But Coach Fred, I can't thank you enough for joining, man. I know you're a busy man on this fine Tuesday. Are you out recruiting, or are you on the road, or are you at home?
Yeah, I'm out recruiting. I just made it back to the hotel, dodging through traffic, trying to get here to get on with my guy Bailey. And have a little fun as we always do every time we get together. So yeah,
Sure.
I'm out the next 2 weeks on the road recruiting, uh, just trying to figure this new world out of college football recruiting. So that's kind of where we're at right
Yeah.
now.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, all the best luck to you, Coach, out recruiting. We're going to
Thank
have
you.
you on the show here very soon again. And I can't thank you enough for joining here. Love your perspective. Guests love you. The chat loves you. I can't thank you enough for joining, man. I really appreciate it.
And well, we need somebody in the chat by the time we get together again to try some coon and let us know how it goes.
Yeah, chat. Somebody's got to try raccoon and let us know, because it ain't going to be me, and I don't think it's going to be Coach Fred either.
Definitely not
I
gonna
don't.
be me.
Well, man, shout out to Coach Fred. Coach Fred, I can't thank you enough for joining, man. We'll have you on again soon, and I hope you have a great Tuesday, my man.
Thank you, B. You too.
Absolutely. Talk to you soon. Shout out to Alcorn State Assistant Head Coach, Coach Leroy Frederick, for joining the show, talking all things Bill Belichick and UNC football here. Shedeur Sanders' New Jersey number that the prime sexuals are losing their mind over on Twitter. And also somebody suing the NFL because Shedeur Sanders fell into the 5th round. We discussed that and so much more. We had Calvin Watkins join the show in the first half of the show to talk all things Dallas Cowboys football as they are, active and going here, and Dallas Cowboys rookie minicamp here. Chat, you guys been great, unbelievable. I can't thank you enough for joining here. Shout out to Joe Accord, Mike Bundy, Cheer Chris, Lucy, all you guys who are in the chat here. I can't thank you enough for joining here. Roberto and everybody else. I can't thank you guys all enough for joining on Thursday here. On Thursday, we had a very, very special treat here. We're going to talk all things Lamar Jackson, Smitty's favorite quarterback, all things Lamar Jackson and Baltimore Ravens football. A staff writer for BaltimoreRavens.com, Clifton Brown, joins the show. So we're going to talk all things Baltimore Ravens football here on Thursday. Also going to talk all things transfer portal as well. As you know, we cover all things transfer portal. We'll probably talk about Colorado Buffaloes football a little bit as well. So be sure to tune into that show on Thursday. And I can't wait for that show. Tomorrow I'll be live with Matt McChesney and possibly the main man Philip Dukes over at DMVR. And you can find him everywhere at Dukes of Scoop. We'll be live tomorrow with Matt McChesney talking all things Colorado Buffaloes football and more. Obviously, check out the Coach JB show with Big Smitty every morning, 9 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific. The realest show on planet Earth. Check that out as well. Can't thank you all enough for joining, and I will see you on Thursday. Thank you for watching. Peace.